could go ahead and start twisting from one-footed stunt.
1, 2.
That was just to show you what could go wrong. That was on purpose. Okay, let's go through it.
It's that choreography thing. Judges can't see it if it's bad.
1, 2.
Hips. So right now you're seeing a little bit of bad technique. She's trying to stop herself in any way that she knows how, and right now she's deciding to put her booty out as she pulls down to do that. Versus, once again, she's been trained so much to spin twice that it's tough to do. In the stretch, we're going to pull the stretch. Once again, our big things to worry about are making sure that we got a locked leg. We're squeezed through here, and it's that same thing that we talked about. Everything's going to go back to that prep single or prep double, is that you are now you are pulling your body up as you're pulling your leg down, and you've got to get back to this hollow position before you go. One of the things that I try to teach the kids is squeeze your body as tight as you can, put your weight all on your left arm too, is that if you stay tight through your abs, I can do this with you on the floor, and it's nice and easy. But if you go loose, then you're going to end up being here. You'll have a lot of girls that take it off your grip. You'll have a lot of girls that take it right off, and they're not actually bringing their leg down and their hip up. And so that's when you get the helicopter pull downs and double down. And so it's just make sure that when you're here, everything goes back to, no matter what it is, a full or a double down from prep level. So if they're in an arabesque, if they're in a score, if they're in a scale, they're in some crazy new body position I've never heard of, it goes from here, square, and look where you're at, bring it up, and bring it down and across. And so it's make sure here, and then go back to that prep and go. It's teaching those kids to wait. The hard part is not the spin. Drive that into their brains over and over and over and over. Is that the single down, the double down, is not difficult to do. That's that jump and spin on the ground thing that we talked about. It's having the ability to wait to do it. It's being scared and doing it anyway. Those are the hard parts. Those are the differences in between your 3s and your 5s. It's that I'd always tell them, you're scared, they're scared, everybody's scared. Fear is not unique to you. That's something that everybody in this goes through. It's not, nothing is natural about what we do in shear. Upside down and backwards is weird. Holding another human being on top of you, totally weird. And so it's, you have to understand that your body already has natural things in it telling you not to do what we're doing. And you have to be able to counteract that. Wait, squeeze, think about your techniques. Use your visual cues to make sure you're doing the same thing every single time.
Perfect. Any questions on any of these?
Y'all seriously have no questions at all?
Yes, Michael.
Hey, Luis!
What kind of inversions are allowed at level 3s?
Okay.
Inversions on prep?
Well,
We're trying to stay away from the choreography stuff as much as possible. Like that's, it's, I'll work with you after, but we're supposed to stay away from like giving you ideas doing choreography.
they purposely wanted us to stay focused on the basics of stuff, even though we could give you inversions, rotations, upside downs, you know, all that good stuff. And it's simply, these classes, we're designing them solely to making sure that we go back to the fundamentals. And I'll give you an example. I was credentialing a coach, hopefully nobody in this room, last year, who I said, okay, show me a basket. And I said, how many people do you use for a basket? She said, well, as many as you can. And I said, okay, show me. And she said, okay, well, we have one here, we have one there, we have one in the back, in the front, and then we get a girl on this side, and then we get one on this side. And then I'm like, so how many total do you have? I said, well, it depends, but usually we could get about 6 or 7, sometimes 8. Wow. So I know it sounds crazy, but it actually does happen. I'm telling you, you would be surprised the stuff that we actually encounter. And the biggest thing for us is keeping our kids safe. I know I'm anal retentive about safety, and I will not push a kid even if it means us winning, period. I just will not do it. And same thing when it comes to, Michael talks a lot about making sure that you work on your core, that you work on your back, your legs. That is so important, and it starts at the babies. I used to have this idea of, okay, the tinies, minis, They're my Q1s, and 2 years ago we would get rocked. Last place, every single place because they were cute. This past season, we changed all that. This season, even our tinies are already working on preps because we really focus on the fundamentals, and they don't understand the difference of here or here. All they understand is that they're up in the air, and if you get them used to just locking out and squeezing, they will never reach for you. They'll always know that they're going to come down. So always focusing on the fundamentals, and most importantly, that fear factor. When you tell your kids, oh, it's just fear, to them it's real, and it's about as real as it's ever going to get.
Kind of going
Right?
along on the mentality side of that, my background's in psych and sports marketing, so I try to get mental with the kids a lot. And you have to understand that even though you as an athlete or as a coach might have done this a million times and you do not understand why they're going through said mental block, or they're scared of whatever silly skill it is and it doesn't make any sense to you, you always have to go back to the boogeyman mentality. I know and you know that there is no boogeyman in the closet, but that does not make it any less real for the child who has to run, turn off the light, and then jump in bed so the thing doesn't grab it from underneath the bed. It's true to them, and it's perception equals reality. And so once again, I kind of said it in my other one, I didn't say it in this one, is I like to talk to the kids at face level. I squat down with them a lot, I'll coach on my knee, things like that. It's not being lazy, and I know that's a common thing in most gyms, that you're never allowed to sit down ever. That's if you sit down and your cell phone comes out, that's like cardinal sin number one for a coach, right? Well, we're gonna do it a little bit different, and if I'm coaching a little girl, we have this one named Tatum at the gym. She's 7 years old, and I kid you not, she is that big, but she's a little junior 3. Like, she's amazing. She throws layouts and standing tugs, and she's just one of those kids who's flying through. If I stand here and I talk at her, it doesn't work the same as when I get down and I look at her eye to eye. And it's understanding that there's a difference in between the way that you speak to them is going to make a big difference. And so understanding why they can be scared automatically puts you on their side. You'll hear me say this a lot in our gym, is that I have to remind them we are all on the same team, okay? And so when a kid goes out there and does something, if I have to get on them, or if I have to take somebody out of something, it's telling them and letting them know that we're on the same team and we both want the same thing, is that you are going to be as good as you possibly can be, so this team can be, so that we can ultimately be successful, whatever success is defined by you and your program in your gym. And so understanding that if they are scared of something, talk to them in their way.
Okay. So we're gonna have another 10-minute break. We're gonna start at 11:30. And we're gonna finish at 4 and then do 5.
And we're here for you guys, so
Or 4 or 5.
any questions, please feel free.
Right, Bill?
Thank you.